my name is John Bowman and I am a member of the English department at Stanley Community College. This video is intended to briefly show you how to do research and how to understand the distinction between scholarly resources and popular resources. Now we have other ways inside the module in which you can really dig into that distinction, but for right now I just want to give you kind of an overview because there seems to be a bit of confusion among students as to why you need this skill. One of the reasons that we want to make sure that you guys are able to do this is because when we revamped the English 112 classes, we toured around the entire college and asked other instructors what they wanted to make sure that their students could do. They all universally said our students need to be able to identify scholarly resources because there's a lack of that. So that's one of the reasons it's so important inside your English 112 class for you to be able to practice and do this skill. So let's start by talking about Pluto. As you can see, you might have gone through a checkout counter at some point, you might have seen something like Time magazine, you may have had a picture like this on the cover of Time magazine, and it would have said something along the lines of, why is Pluto no longer a planet? Now, if you had picked up that magazine and you read through the article, you would find some very well-informed opinions. They may have pulled from scientists, they may have pulled from experts in the field, they may have had someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about why Pluto is no longer a planet, and even share stories with you about outraged children who have said Pluto should be a planet and drawn him cute pictures and things like that. Now, that's one way to look at Pluto, and that's a popular resource. Though it is a well-informed opinion, and though it is professionally produced, it is not scholarship. And the reason it is not scholarship is because it's not peer-reviewed. It's not made by experts and reviewed by other experts and written for all those experts inside the field. I'm going to demonstrate that to you shortly, but I just wanted to kind of start with a way that you can connect this to your everyday experience. Now, I want to give you a parallel as well. The parallel is with a documentary. If we were to evaluate whether or not a documentary is actually a documentary, we need a sort of set of criteria by which we can judge that documentary. So we might say that documentaries have facts and they're about something that's real that happened, not something fake. So a documentary could not be about something like Harry Potter. Harry Potter is not real. It could not be about Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is not real. But it could be about the making of a movie called Lord of the Rings. Now, with that in mind, if we were to evaluate whether or not something is indeed a documentary, we would take that criteria and judge that documentary by that criteria. So, we would not say this documentary is about a man who is falsely accused of murder. We would not say that I'm outraged because this man was falsely accused of murder. We would not say something like this man has been to prison and he's been in prison for a long period of time. Instead, we would evaluate the criteria, using the criteria to look at this documentary to argue that it is indeed a documentary. For purposes of your English 112 class, if you happen to be in the English 112 class at Stanley Community College, that's what we want you to do. We do not want you to tell us the content of the documentary. We want you to tell us why it was a documentary. And that's a parallel to a scholarly article. We don't want you to tell us the content of the article. We want you to tell us why it's a scholarly article. Exactly like, again, as a parallel, this one here. Let me show you some resources that are inside your 112 module. If you scroll down and you come to the third section and you click into the third section, we have a plethora of resources here for you to be able to explore. So for example, if you click on scholarly and popular sources, down here toward the bottom, a second ago, I had talked about the criteria by which you could judge whether or not something is indeed popular or scholarly. Over here, you have this chart, and so you want to use the right column on the chart in order to be able to evaluate whether or not you have a resource that is, again, scholarly. In addition, if we back up, we could also look at how to do research at SCC. How to do research at SCC contains a really amazing video from our librarian that shows you exactly how to evaluate scholarly and popular resources. So I'm not going to belabor that point too much in this video, but I do want to point you to this particular resource inside the module because there seems to be some confusion about exactly how to do these assignments inside our English 112 classes. Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to finish up by again returning to Pluto, where I started the entire video. I'm going to show you how to do just a little bit of research. Okay, again, the rest of this is included in the video from the librarian. So if I come over here and I come down to library, inside this box I can type Pluto. The results that pop up for Pluto need to be sorted in order to find an actual scholarly resource. So to do that, I want to click on scholarly and peer reviewed. I want to click on journal articles. And by the way, if you notice at this particular point, I still have a lot of feedback from things like Journal of Children's Literature. That's not what we're looking for. So what I want to do is I want to scroll down, click on discipline, and then I want to click on applied sciences right here, and then apply. Now, what we get is indeed a scholarly article. If you go back to the chart, and on the right side of the chart, it says that there is technical language that is associated with this particular topic. So if we scroll down here, photoacoustically guided wavefront shaping for enhanced optical focusing and scattering media. That is not the kind of thing that we talk about around the dinner table. Those are big ideas, and they're specifically focused on certain topics. In this case, I would assume that it's applied to Pluto since we sorted for that. Speckle scale focusing in the diffusive regime with time reversal variance encoded light. That is, again, indeed a scholarly resource. These are written by experts for experts in that field, and that's exactly what we're looking for.